Hi, it's Brandon Splitty from ThirstGym.com. Today we're talking about exercise called the double kettlebell front rack Cossack squat. This is a great exercise in terms of working the lateral lunge pattern, and definitely make sure we're working in that frontal plane really well. But it's also a great way to get some good upper back expansion, build some abdominal strength, and really just overall build a good quality athlete. This is a very challenging and demanding exercise. Definitely recommend this more for your intermediate to advanced athletes. Do not have your beginner athletes do this. Just have them work on their lateral lunge pattern as a whole. The reason I really like this exercise is it really focuses to get long in the adductors and the hamstrings. It's really going to work on mobility, but also strengthening end ranges of motion and being incredibly athletic. Sports that really benefit from an exercise like this are really anybody that's got to change direction, especially at length. So I really like to think of softball, baseball, and wrestling players specifically. Those athletes do a lot of work in lengthened positions, especially when it comes to the frontal plane. Even your volleyball players at times have to get really long to dive for a ball, so think about your back row players, or anybody, again, like I said, that moves side to side with big strides. Sometimes you can make that basketball players as well. Now, you will need 2 kettlebells for this. So to quickly show how this is done, we're going to take the 2 kettlebells up in the front rack position. So we're going to bring them here, bring my hands together. We want to make sure the kettle's on the outside, okay? So what we don't want to have happen is we don't want to be like this and we don't want to be like this. Elbows forward like you're going to try to shoot somebody forward, and then we're just going to sit right here in that good athletic position, front rack position, I'm sorry. It's going to be a good athletic position here in a minute with our wrists toward our face. Then what we're going to do, feet are going to go in a good wide athletic base. So we don't want to be too wide, but we do want to make sure we would be able to do a lateral lunge in this position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lunge towards one side, and we're going to, as low as we can, keep our whole foot flat, and our other foot's going to rotate, and we're going to stay on our heels. So your toe can leave the ground on your away leg. So we're going to go here, down, back up. Then go to the other side, back up. So as you notice, there's a little more forward knee translation in a Cossack squat than a lateral lunge, because we're getting that good quality strength at length, just like that, okay? So as you can see, that's overall challenging just for me. Definitely not good at that motion. However, I am able to get quality moving to my right side much better than my left. Now when it comes to programming, when you're going to do this, think about the athletes you're working with and the kind of season that they're in. Again, I really like this exercise for wrestlers for sure, because how they have to get long on shots and to be able to be strong on one leg while one leg's at length. This is not only going to train that pattern that's a little bit more specific towards the sport, but it's also going to make sure our back strength is good, and it's incredibly important for wrestlers because they do so much up here while still having to actually use their body to do other movements, right? So think about where you're at with your season, but in general, you're probably going to find yourself programming these for 6 to 8 reps per side. You can certainly do 10 reps per side. I usually do that almost more towards the beginning of an athlete learning the Cossack squat in general, which is either a dumbbell or body weight. That way we can get some quality repetitions. Once we start getting some heavy load like this, doing a bunch of reps, we really start to see some upper back fatigue, especially if you really try to push these rather heavy. So just keep that in mind. And then when it comes to your sets and reps, probably 2 to 4 sets depending upon where you're at, what you've got your program design laid out looking like, and some of those variations. But again, I think it's a great full body exercise. Really anybody can benefit from an exercise like this, but those athletes in particular that I mentioned will benefit hugely when it comes to performance on the field, court, mat, what have you. Got any questions? Leave them in the comment section. Thanks, have a great day.